Assalamu alaikum everyone, I am Sababa Safar Ahmed. The topic for today is native speakers versus the non-native speakers. So, who are the native speakers and who are the non-native speakers? So, first of all, native speakers are those speakers who have learned a language from their childhood. For example, we are Bangladeshi native speakers, since we have been talking in Bangla since our childhood. We have learnt it usually by hearing our parents. On the other hand, non-native speakers are those speakers who have learnt a language as older children or as adults. For instance, আমরা স্কুলে গিয়ে ইংলিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটি শিখেছি, তাহলে আমরা ইংলিশের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা নন নেটিভ স্পিকার্স, যেহেতু আমরা জন্মের পর থেকে ইংলিশে কথা বলি না, একটা সার্টেন এজের পর থেকে আমরা ইংলিশ বলি। তবে নেটিভ স্পিকার্স অ্যান্ড নন নেটিভ স্পিকার্স দুটোটারই কিন্তু অ্যাডভান্টেজ আছে। Now, let us focus on the differences in the speaking patterns of both the speakers, native speakers and non-native speakers. So, number one, native speakers, they try to express their emotions by giving emphasis in different words. For example, I am not going there. By giving emphasis on not, a native speaker tries to express his or her disinclination to go somewhere. On the other hand, I, as a non-native English speaker, would definitely say, I'm not going there. This does mean I am not giving emphasis in different words. Rather, I'm expressing my emotions loudly and clearly. Number two, for non-native speakers, English is influenced by their first language, to some extent at least. For example, আমি একজন বাংলাদেশি মানুষ, আমি ইংলিশে যদি কথা বলি, অবশ্যই ইংলিশটা আমার ফার্স্ট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, যার মানে বাংলার দ্বারা ইনফ্লুয়েন্সড হবে। একটা সহজ এক্সাম্পল দিয়ে বুঝিয়ে দিই। For example, if I were to ask to give me a glass of water, I would have said, will you please give me a glass of water? However, when a British native speaker asks this, he would definitely ask, would you please give me a glass of water? The R remains silent. That means his speaking is not influenced by his first language, since he is already a British native speaker. Number three, non-native speakers are pretty much concerned about grammatical matters, since they are very prone to grammar. আমরা ছোটবেলা থেকেই কিন্তু গ্রামার নিয়ে অনেক পড়াশোনা করেছি স্কুলে, তার জন্য আমরা যখন কথা বলি গ্রামারটা আমাদের মাথায় সেট থাকে, যার জন্য আমরা খুব গ্রামাটিক্যাল মিস্টেকটি এড়িয়ে চলি। কিন্তু অন্যদিকে the native speakers, they barely care about grammar. For example, দুইটি ওয়ার্ড লে এবং লাই। লে একটি ট্রানজিটিভ ওয়ার্ড, whereas লাই একটি intransitive word. That does mean that lay needs an object, whereas lie does not need an object. So, now focus on the sentence. I lie on the floor. A non-native speaker, keeping the grammatical matter and grammatical rule in his mind, he would have said, I lie on the floor, which is proper. However, a native speaker, since he barely cares about grammar, he could have said, I lay on the floor, which is absolutely incorrect. Now, I'll give you a few examples and try to clarify more regarding the differences between the speaking patterns of a native speaker and a non-native speaker. So first of all, focus in this sentence. Suppose someone has asked you, the weather is really hot today, isn't it? So, as a non-native speaker, you and I would have probably answered, yes, I agree. However, a native speaker would not have answered like this, since I agree is a bit formal. Native speakers speak in a more informal and a more casual way. Instead of saying, I agree, they would have said, you can say that again. So let's repeat the sentence. It's really hot today, isn't it? Yes, you can say that again. Now, the second sentence. Suppose you're working in a group. You see a person and you want his or her help. So, as a non-native speaker, you could have simply asked, hey, can you please help me? Or simply, help me. But a native speaker would want this help in a different way. He or she would have asked, hi, would you like to pitch in? Now let's move to the next sentence. Now, we non-native speakers, when we see something unusual or something that is surprising or something that is eccentric, we usually exclaim, ah, that's so weird, or that is so surprising. For example, আমরা সকলেই ম্যাক্সিমামই কিন্তু আমাদের রুম গোছাতে পছন্দ করি না। যদি মাঝে মধ্যে রুম গুছিয়েও ফেলি, আমাদের পেরেন্টস তা দেখে খুব অবাক হয়ে যায় এবং অবাক হয়ে তারা বলেন, ওয়াও, ইটস সারপ্রাইজিং। কিন্তু একজন নেটিভ প্যারেন্ট অন্যভাবে বলবে। তিনি বলবেন, that's something that I don't usually see. It's interesting, isn't it? Now, let us move to the next example. একজন non-native speaker যখন কারোর সাথে দেখা হয়, তখন তো আমরা সবাইকে গ্রিট করি যদি কারোর সাথে দেখা হয়। তো একজন non-native speaker সেই ক্ষেত্রে বলে, হাই। কিন্তু একজন native speaker, he usually tells, hey. Now, let us focus on our final example. Suppose you're going to do something new and you're skeptical. You somehow know that you will probably fail. However, in order to protect yourself from being embarrassed, you tell people, hey, wish me luck. However, native speakers don't usually say, wish me luck. They say, here goes nothing. For instance, I'm going to try something that is very new, that I've never done in my life before. So before that, I'll say, here goes nothing. But as a native speaker. Now, let us move on to the next and the final part of this video. So, suppose you want to learn this language by communicating with a speaker. Now, who would you choose? A native speaker or a non-native speaker? Are you confused? There's nothing to worry about. There are a few certain language rules, and knowing these rules will help you to decide on what kind of partner or mentor you need. So, let us look at the different goals. First of all, let us look at the goals for having a native partner or a native mentor. So, number 1, you want to emulate their pronunciation and accent. Now, native speakers learn the English language since their very childhood, and hence they speak in a more authentic way. And thus they can help you more if you are to learn about the proper accent and pronunciation. For example, আপনি যদি ইংলিশ শিখতে চান, ধরেন আপনি আমেরিকান ইংলিশ শিখতে চান, আমেরিকান অ্যাকসেন্টটা শিখতে চান, তাহলে একজন নেটিভ স্পিকার আপনাকে অ্যাকিউরেটলি অ্যাকসেন্ট এবং প্রোনাউন্সিয়েশন শিখিয়ে দিবে compared to that of a non-native speaker. Next, you want to learn proper vocab and phrases. So, নেটিভ স্পিকার্স ছোটবেলা থেকে অনেক ইডিয়ামস, অনেক স্ল্যাংস ব্যবহার করে থাকে, তাই তারা আপনাদেরকে প্রপার ইডিয়াম, প্রপার স্ল্যাং, কখন কোনটা ইউজ করা উচিত তা একদম প্রপারলি এবং সঠিকভাবে বুঝিয়ে দিতে পারবে। Next, you want to be sure that everything you hear is correct. Native speakers immerse themselves in English since their childhood, so they are very reliable when it comes to their own language. যার জন্য নেটিভ স্পিকারদের থেকে যাই শুনবেন সবকিছু বেশি ট্রাস্টওয়ার্দি মনে হবে compared to that of a non-native speaker. So, if you have these goals, then I would suggest you to communicate with a native speaker. However, let us focus on the goals that will help you to choose non-native speakers. So first of all, suppose your goal is to gain confidence. Now, native speakers are experts. Hence, you might feel a bit nervous or a bit hesitant unless and until you reach on the same level as they are in. However, with a non-native speaker, you might feel safer. You might be in less pressure. You can communicate with the speaker in a better way. And both of you can try to bring about your problems and try to solve them together. Next, if you want to learn grammar, I would suggest you to choose a non-native mentor or partner. As I've mentioned earlier in this video, that non-native speakers are much more concerned about grammatical matters than the native speakers are. So, non-native speakers can assist you more regarding the grammatical mistakes, the grammatical rules. And finally, if you want someone to understand your struggle, I would definitely suggest you to speak with a non-native speaker. Since non-native speakerও আপনার মতোই কিন্তু ইংলিশ শেখার সময় সেম প্রসেসে গিয়েছিল, তাই আপনার স্ট্রাগলস খুব ভালো করে বুঝতে পারবে এবং আপনিও ফ্রিলি আপনার প্রবলেমস বলতে পারবেন। তার ফলে নন নেটিভ স্পিকার আপনাকে মোটিভেট করবে, আপনাকে সাজেশন দিবে, and will definitely help you to overcome your struggles. So this was all about today's video. Thank you for watching.